When an open world game gets it right, it's worth hundreds of hours of your time. That's exactly why so many players choose open world games over everything else. Some open worlds aren't memorable because they're massive. They're memorable because of the incredible variety of things waiting around every corner. Others have a way of pulling you in, making the real world completely disappear while you're exploring them. In today's video, we're counting down the open world games that do exactly that. The games every gamer should experience at least once. If you're ready, let's jump in. Red Dead Redemption 2, getting on a horse and riding nowhere in particular, and this being the only game where that actually feels like the point. Red Dead 2 is the highest point open world games have ever reached. 1899 America isn't just a map in this game, it breathes, changes, and pulls you in. Rin turns the ground to mud. Standing near a fire warms you up. Every town has its own character, every NPC their own daily routine. Arthur Morgan is one of the best written characters in gaming history. The 40-50 hour main story you spend with him makes you feel like you genuinely lived in this world. Fishing, making camp, lying under the stars. None of that is filler. That is the game. When it ends, you feel like you've lost something real. No other game gives you that. Sleeping Dogs, a game that carries the soul of Hong Kong crime cinema and one that was unfairly overlooked. Wei Shen is an undercover cop who infiltrates a triad organization, but the deeper you go, the more you start to forget who you actually are. That identity crisis gives weight to every decision. Who are you protecting, and what do you actually value? The streets of Hong Kong are alive and atmospheric. The combat system draws from the Arkham series, but hits harder and dirtier, slamming someone's head into a car hood, grabbing nearby objects as improvised weapons, and the vehicle chases take on a dimension you won't find anywhere else. If you're looking for something different from GTA, this is the answer. By the time you finish it, you'll want Wei Shen's story to continue. Arkham Knight is the biggest and most cinematic entry in the series. Gotham is entirely yours now. You can drive it, glide across it, fast travel between tunnels. And the Batmobile isn't just a car, it transforms into a combat platform, drops into tank mode, and tears through enemy vehicles like they're made of paper. The sound of the Batmobile moving through the city stays with everyone who played this game. Scarecrow's psychological terror gives the whole experience a feel completely unlike anything else in the series. The main story runs 15-20 hours, but Riddler puzzles and side missions stretch that out considerably. Arkham Asylum set the standard. Arkham City reached the peak. Arkham Knight spread that peak across the whole city. Years of waiting, multiple delays. When it finally launched in March 2026, everyone went quiet. Pearl Abyss's action RPG set a new bar for open-world design. Cliff is trying to reassemble the scattered Greymane's mercenary group, but this isn't a simple gather-your-crew story. The political conflicts and shifting power dynamics running beneath the continent of Pywell make every decision carry real weight. The combat system is the heart of the game. Fluid combos, environmental attacks, and boss encounters designed like duels. Learnable, but never easy. The world stretches from frozen tundra to tropical forests, underwater ruins to cities built on flying rock formation. It became 2026's biggest surprise, and for open-world fans, it's one you genuinely cannot miss. Liberty City is still the best city the GTA series has ever built. Nothing has matched it since. GTA 4 deliberately feels different from everything else in the series. Heavier, more grounded, more dark. Niko Bellic arrives from Eastern Europe chasing the American dream. Rockstar's job is to show you exactly what happens to that dream. Liberty City breathes. Subways run on schedule. Taxis drift through intersections. People argue on their phones. Every neighborhood represents a different class, a different hope, a different disappointment. Even bowling with Roman Bellic deepens your connection to this world. The main story runs 25-30 hours. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chornobyl. You enter the Chernobyl exclusion zone. The zone does not welcome you. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 is the peak of post-apocalyptic atmosphere in gaming. The zone filled with mutated animals, anomaly, rival stalker factions, and people just trying to survive makes every step matter. Be careful, be patient, read the environment. Every act of exploration carries real risk. You enter a building. The energy anomaly detector starts going off. Do you push through or pull back? Those decisions lock you in. And being in this world at night, with that sound design, is genuinely unsettling. The main story is 40 to 50 hours, and that's not enough time to fully explore the zone. Side missions, hidden areas, faction interactions, all of it disappears inside this dark and relentless world. Nothing is explained to you. You don't know where to go, and that is exactly right. The moment you first step into the lands between, you're lost. But that feeling of being lost is the game's greatest strength. Every discovery is yours. Every boss defeat is yours. Every piece of lore you piece together is yours. The world born from software and George R. R. Martin's collaboration is one of the richest and most layered in gaming history. Finding an unexpected area behind a tunnel, realizing hours later how two regions connect. These moments don't exist in any other open world. It's hard, genuinely hard, but when you finally defeat that first major boss, something real shifts inside you, and that shift doesn't let you go. Fallout 4. 200 years after nuclear war, the ruins of Boston are waiting for you. Fallout 4 is an unexpected but effective combination of open-world RPG and base building. In the Commonwealth, you're searching for a lost child, but that search pulls you into faction conflicts, moral gray areas, and the deep wilderness of a broken world. The settlement system is what sets this apart. Every piece of scrap you collect has a use. Every base you build in a ruin grows and evolves, and with mod support, this world offers nearly limitless content. Putting on power armor and standing your ground against the Deathclaw, arriving at Diamond City's gates for the first time, that feeling of discovery is real. The main story is 25-30 hours, but with DLC and mods, this game can last years. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. What can you even say about The Witcher 3 that hasn't been said? Everything has been said. Let's say it anyway. The Witcher 3 set the standard for open-world RPGs, and years later, that standard still holds. Geralt's world is so dense, so full, that every village tells its own story. Side quests are written at the level of the main quest. Every player who experiences the Bloody Baron questline for the first time stops at the same moment. Because it's not a side quest, it's a story that tightens something in your chest, and the decisions have weight. You see the consequences hours later. The main story is 50+ hours, 2 DLCs, each the quality of a complete game. The Witcher 3 shows what games can be when every department performs at its absolute best. Subnautica 2. Diving to the ocean floor had already pulled you in with the first game. The second takes that feeling and puts it inside a much larger universe. Subnautica 2 entered early access in May 2026, moving to a new planet called Luca, 4 biomes, new creatures, new vehicles, and this time co-op support for up to 4 players. Dive alone or bring your friends into the same ocean. The claustrophobic magic of the original is still here. You don't know what you'll find when you dive into the deep. You wonder what's in the places light can't reach. The new DNA modification system lets you absorb traits from scanned creatures and apply them to your character. It's on Game Pass for free. If underwater exploration is your thing, there's no excuse left not to try this right now. Gravity Rush. When you control gravity, the world looks completely different. Gravity Rush approaches open worlds from a perspective no other game touches. Kakashi is a young woman who can manipulate gravity. She runs along walls, walks across ceilings, glides between buildings, and that movement system makes every second of the game feel like freedom. The floating islands of Hexaville, its mysterious dark regions, and that dreamlike atmosphere make this game impossible to forget. The graphic novel visual style gives every scene a quiet poetry. It's a short game, 12-15 hours, but every hour offers something no other game can give you. No other game makes playing with gravity feel this satisfying. Once you have that feeling, it's hard to put down. Saints Row 4. You're a superpowered president fighting an alien invasion, and that is the most sensible part of this game. Saints Row 4 tested how far an open-world game could push absurdity and proved there is no limit. Steelport now exists inside a Matrix-like simulation, and you're fighting back against it. Super speed, telekinesis, a massive energy shockwave, these aren't just powers, they're your ways of moving through the city. No need for vehicle, you're flying anyway, and that freedom is so satisfying that you spend hours just running through the city for no reason. Playing co-op with a friend inside this chaos is a completely different experience. A 15-20 hour game where every minute guarantees a laugh. The best example of an open world that doesn't take itself seriously. 1980s Japan, neon lights, mafia wars, and karaoke, all in the same game. Yakuza is the best entry point into the series. You see both Kiryu and Majima in their younger years, 2 different cities, 2 different stories, 2 different playstyles, and both are rich, layered narratives with real emotional weight. The combat system is the heart of the game, powerful, varied, and visually satisfying. But the side quests hide the real surprise. Absurd comedy, genuine drama, and unexpectedly real characters appearing at the moments you least expect them. The main story is 30 to 40 hours, but managing a cabaret club, building a real estate empire, or just killing time in the arcade could keep you going far beyond that. Yakuza 0 sends you to Japan, and you won't want to come back. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. Swinging across New York's rooftops, there is no other game that gives you this feeling. Insomniac's Spider-Man Remastered is the peak of superhero gaming. Manhattan is genuinely alive in this game. Every building is distinct, every neighborhood has its own character, and the web-swinging mechanic is so satisfying that just traveling around the city becomes its own activity. But this game doesn't just make you Spider-Man, it makes you Peter Parker. Making rent, worrying about May's health, running into an ex in the most awkward way possible. These aren't background details, they are the game. Combat is fluid, gadgets are varied, and the final sequence stays with everyone who played it. 15-20 hours of main story with not a single dull moment. If you want a superhero gaming experience, look no further. Hogwarts Legacy. Playing as a wizard has never felt this real. Hogwarts Legacy is the game every Potter fan imagined, and it delivered beyond expectations. The 1800s version of Hogwarts, with every corridor, every hidden room, every secret waiting to be found, learning spells, riding dragons, standing against dark wizards. The open world goes well beyond Hogwarts itself. Hogsmeade, the Forbidden Forest, ancient caves, and much more. Every region offers different dangers and different discoveries. The spell system is satisfying and deep. Which spells you choose, how you combine them, that's entirely up to you. The main story runs 30 to 40 hours, but every hidden passage and every collectible side quest will keep you going far longer. Fan or not, this world draws you in. Hope County, Montana. Beautiful country, but something very dark is running underneath it. The Eden's Gate cult has taken an entire county hostage, and you're trying to take it back. Joseph Seed, that calm, persuasive, dangerous voice, is one of the most memorable antagonists the series has ever produced. The open world is set somewhere familiar this time, American rural countryside, and that familiarity makes the danger feel more real. You get attacked while fishing. An explosion interrupts a quiet moment with the landscape. 3 regions, 3 leaders, 3 separate fights, and at the end of each one, the story takes you somewhere you didn't expect. Co-op makes the whole experience richer. Main story is 25-30 hours. Being a Viking, launching a raid on Britain, and building a kingdom from the ground up, all in the same game. Valhalla is the biggest and most expansive entry in the series. As Eivor, you explore both Norway and 9th century England, each region with its own political balance and its own stories. Building Ravensthorpe from nothing, and watching it grow into a thriving settlement is one of the most satisfying things this game does. Viking raids, castle sieges, sea battles, and woven between them, genuinely well-written character stories. Eivor's search for their own identity runs through the entire game and keeps pulling you forward. 100+ hours of content, side quests, and exploration can easily double that. Valhalla isn't satisfied with being big, it works to fill that size with substance. Monster Hunter Wild. No other game makes hunting a monster feel this satisfying. Monster Hunter Wilds elevated the series to the top of its genre with its move to a seamless open world, a continuous map, dynamic weather systems, ecosystems that interact with each other, and massive creatures that each demand a completely different strategy. Before you hunt an Arkveld, you observe it for hours, you learn its behavior, you note its weak points, then the confrontation arrives, and winning it delivers a satisfaction that's completely real. 4-player co-op takes the experience to another level entirely. 50+ hours of main content, but high-rank hunts and build optimization can stretch this game into the hundreds of hours. Once you're in that loop, getting out is not easy. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, the most different game on this list, but for anyone thinking about their childhood or their kids, it's essential. LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 takes place in Chronopolis, a massive open world assembled from pieces of different Marvel locations, spanning time and space. Manhattan, Ancient Egypt, Asgard, Nueva York, all in the same city. Over 200 characters with their own ability. Fighting Kang the Conqueror with your favorite Marvel character is the game's greatest joy. The story is wild but joyful, and one of the rare games that genuinely works for every age. Co-op fun is guaranteed. 15-20 hours of story, but collectibles and side content push it much further. Sometimes just being fun is enough. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. No magic, no dragons, no enchanted sword, just 15th century Bohemia and survival. Kingdom Come Deliverance II makes zero compromises on realism. As Henry, you have to actually learn how to use a sword. The combat system develops over time. You learn to read and write. Sleep and food management matter. These constraints feel like a burden at first. Then they pull you into the world, because every achievement feels earned. Talking your way past a guard through honest dialogue, hiding in a dark castle, finally winning that fight. All of it is something you worked for. The Bohemian landscapes take your breath away. Side quests are written as well as full games. A 40-50 hour experience where every single hour feels real. Just Cause 4. You can blow up anything, and I mean anything. Just Cause 4 is the peak of open-world chaos gaming. Rico Rodriguez arrives in Solis, a tropical massive island that's just waiting to be destroyed. With a grappling hook, wingsuit, and balloon system, you ignore the laws of physics entirely, lifting a helicopter into the air with balloons and dropping it, leveling a military base single-handedly, gliding off a mountain in your wingsuit with a wall of explosions building behind you. This game isn't about story, it's about freedom, and that feeling of freedom, just flying, just exploding things, just creating chaos, is purer here than anywhere else. 15-20 hours of main content, but you can spend hours just exploring the world. Days Gone. Alone on Oregon's empty roads, fuel running low, thousands of zombies on the horizon. Days Gone didn't get the recognition it deserved when it launched, but everyone who played it says the same thing. This game gets its hooks in you and doesn't let go. Deacon St. John isn't just a survivor, he's someone living for a person he lost, and that personal weight sinks into every moment. The horde system is the game's greatest strength. Watching thousands of freakers come at you at once is a scene nobody who's seen it ever forgets. Upgrading the bike, hunting for fuel, fortifying camps, all of it keeps you rooted in this world. The main story runs 30 to 40 hours, and for most of that time, Oregon's roads have you completely. One of the finest examples of a game discovered late by the audience it deserved. Cyberpunk 2077. The launch is history. What Cyberpunk 2077 became after it is the story worth telling. Night City is one of the best cities ever built in a game. Vertical, neon-drenched, dystopian, and staggeringly detailed. Every lower district represents a different kind of desperation. Every tower represents a different kind of power. Visa's story, slowly dying while sharing a skull with a ghost, is completely entangled with Keanu Reeves' Johnny Silverhand. With Phantom Liberty, the narrative goes somewhere much deeper. The build variety is extraordinary. A cyber-enhanced Street Fighter, a netrunner who hacks from the shadows, a pure gunslinger. Every approach changes how the world responds to you. Main story and DLC combined run 40 to 50 hours, but Night City streets will pull you in for much longer than that. Horizon Forbidden West. Giant machines, flooded cities, tropical forests, and Aloy facing all of it alone. Horizon Forbidden West is one of the most visually diverse open worlds ever built. The Forbidden West territories are so different from one another that moving between regions genuinely feels like entering a different game. You can dive underwater, glide with your shield wing, and navigate a world that's both a threat and an invitation to explore. Machine hunting is the heart of this series. When you come face to face with a Thunderjaw, you build a strategy, which component to tear off first, which weak point to target, when to run. Every hunt is different. Every machine is its own puzzle. Main story is 25-30 hours, and full exploration pushes well past 60. Aloy's journey isn't just about saving the world, it's about understanding who she is, and that personal story makes the enormous world feel even larger. Which open world game do you think we should have included on this list? Don't forget to let me know in the comments.